time, I can feel that power in my hands. Beat of the drums rushing through my skin.
The Eagles have had a mixed season, but they're trending upwards since the return of Justin Gordon. And with Martavius McKnight now back at the Giants, Manchester are hoping he can inspire their push to the playoffs.
Great look there from McKnight.
Let's go! Oh, Anderson all on his own with a one-handed throwdown. Oh, my! No fear now. You can feel it when the crowd starts to cheer now. Yo, we here now. Vision's clear now. Yo, it's right now. Fletcher, top of the key, knocks it down. You can feel it when the crowd starts to cheer now.
We're live from the Virtue Motors Arena in Newcastle, where the hometown Eagles are hoping to fly high against the Manchester Giants. And with the playoffs looming, it is a game with major post-season implications. A very good evening to you at a packed house here in Newcastle. And these Eagles fans around me will know that the playoffs represents their best, frankly, their only chance of silverware this season. Drew Lasker, Kieran Achara, delighted to say, President Correct as ever, good to see you both. And I guess, Kieran, the Giants fans will be coming to the same conclusion. It's playoff or bust for them as well.
Definitely, and this is why this game is so important tonight, the head-to-head, you know, it is a big, big battle.
In terms of Manchester's season, a cup final, given the fact that last year they didn't even make the playoffs, if they go on, get into the playoffs this year but go out early on, will they look at that as a successful season for them?
I'm split minds with this one. You know, I believe it is progression. You know, they've been at the bottom of the pile for so long, so to actually get a glimpse of that playoff and make a big push in there, get into a cup final is great. But at the same time, the signings that they have this year, they should be competing for not just one or two bits of silver, but 3 or 4.
On all fronts. Speaking of which, the Newcastle Eagles, Drew Lasker, as you well know, are used to winning silverware. So by their high standards, this season has been underwhelming. Why is that?
Well, for me, it's been the personnel. It was something from the very jump that I didn't think was working. A bunch of three-point shooters with no real athleticism. And then a team that doesn't play defense. It's a recipe for disaster in the BBL.
This is a literate and very loyal fan base. What will they be making of the season so far? Will they still be retaining hope that it could be turned around?
Well, there's still a playoff final to be played and silverware up for grabs, so there's still hope. And the Newcastle Eagles are only judged by one thing, and that's silverware.
And they managed to pull it off last season, of course, and doubling down. They're not the only two teams with the playoffs on their mind, of course. Plenty of teams in the BBL very much in the playoff mix. Tonight's other games, Bristol host Sheffield. Glasgow travel to Surrey, Cheshire, take on the Leicester Riders. On Sunday, it's Manchester's turn to face the league leaders. Plymouth had the longest road trip in the league when they travelled to Glasgow. I bet you used to love that trip when you played for Plymouth, Drew.
Bring a pillow and a blanket, fellas.
At the very least. Cheshire host the Lions. That's a preview of next weekend's trophy final. A game you can watch right here on Sky Sports, of course. So things are pretty tight in the standings, other than at the very top. The Riders sitting pretty with only one loss so far, but there's only 6 points separating second and 8th. London, well, they suffered another defeat last Sunday to Sheffield after we saw them in fine battle last Friday night. Sheffield, along with Cheshire, have 10 wins. Manchester looking to match that here tonight. Victory for Newcastle would see them tie Manchester's record of 9 wins and 9 losses. Plymouth, well, they have really turned things around. Winless after 8 games. They've now won 9 of their last 12. And they look like they're headed to the postseason. And that great form is reflected in both the player and coach awards for February.
Here's Williams from behind the arc, and his 3 rolls in. And Zadusha gives it to Williams, who flushes it down on the break.
Coach PJ is someone who's been there and done that as a player and as a coach.
extraordinary run for Plymouth. How has Coach PJ turned things around there, Kieran?
Like Drew had mentioned earlier, it's personnel. You know, he got the personnel right. I felt that he had a structure and a system in place. They just were missing those key pieces. Now they've got those imports in. They came in flying. Some might say that the most exciting player in the league in Williams. But yeah, they're just playing at a really, really high level at this moment in time.
When you say some might say, you're saying Drew Lasker might say. That's what you mean with that. Timing things absolutely perfectly, of course, because that is all about timing when it comes to this stage of the season in the playoffs. And it's remarkable, Drew, when you consider this was a team brand new ostensibly for this season, and everybody was writing off at the start of the season. So how incredible an achievement would it be if they do go on and make the playoffs?
Well, everybody loves a great story, right? A team that basically goes from nothing to something. 3 weeks before the season wasn't even in existence. So to come to where they are today is an inspiration for everyone in the city of Plymouth.
One other one in terms of teams in form, Cheshire in blazing form at the moment. They're going to be in the trophy final next weekend against London. That game, as I say, is going to be live right here on Sky Sports. Kieran, I've got to address it. How disappointed are you that the Rocks lost that heavy first leg lead? Cheshire managed to turn them around. It must be hugely disappointing for the Rocks faithful.
Oh, it was gutting. You know, it's one of those things, you know, you look at it statistically, you're in a great position, double-digit lead, and then all of a sudden blow it to that extent. Yeah, it was gutting.
Yeah, I bet it was. Cheshire-London, though, that's going to be a hell of a final. Watch that with us next weekend. Let's turn our attention back to tonight's game, though. The Eagles and the Giants have met twice in the championship already this season, sharing the spoils. So this game is for the series. Manchester did win their 2 games in the group stages of the Cup back in October, but that was a long time ago. A great deal has changed since then, particularly for Newcastle and particularly in terms of their roster. You look at the setup here, Kieran. There is veteran leadership, there are big-name players, and they've now gone on a run, 3 wins out of 4. So do you get a sense that this Eagles side has turned the corner?
You know, I like to think they're finding their identity. I think Gordon was a big piece for them, bringing him back, you know, the Newcastle way, per se. But at the same time, the wins they've had are against the bottom 2 teams. It's against Surrey Scorchers and Glasgow Rocks. Plymouth was their first real challenge, and they lost that one. So let's see tonight where they're at.
A sterner test, fair to say. The return of Justin Gordon, of course, has been instrumental in this return to form. Drew, how surprised were you to see him back in an Eagles jersey?
I was surprised because of the season that he had last year, but my 16 years in the league, I'm not, because I've seen this story before.
Drew has played with Justin. He's won trophies with him, so it made sense to hook the 2 back up and find out a little bit more about Justin's return to Tyneside.
It's heating up here. Wow, Justin Gordon is so athletic. A great finish by Gordon.
Justin Gordon is back.
Gordon for 3. Knocks it down.
That's the epitome of Justin Gordon keeping the team alive.
Last year we said the next time we would do this in a pub because we was in lockdown all last season.
I didn't think this much would change, and I didn't expect us to be back.
Yeah, a lot has changed in the last year. You know, even to the fans, there were no fans. This place was completely empty. So how is it different having 3,000 fans screaming in here?
Being able to depend on those people to come out and give us a spark every night is really helpful.
And the personnel is different with this team. How is it different?
You know, now we play small. We can be a lot better on defense, given our lack of mismatches when we can switch. Also, just being able to get up and down the floor a little bit faster than we did last year.
Newcastle will start with possession. Justin Gordon looking to attack quickly and get the first score on the board.
You had yourself a great season, 2 championships. You picked yourself up a BBL Cup Final MVP, and then jetted off to Europe. So just share your journey over the last 7 months.
Man, this last 7 months has been probably the toughest stretch of my career. Started in Belgium. Things didn't go great, and then I was in Hungary for about 4 months. We just didn't have the team makeup that we needed to get the wins, and came back to Newcastle with open arms. Everybody welcomed me in so well, so quickly. I'm glad to be able to experience the city open.
And the stars aligned, and you are back. You're an Eagle again. Why did you return?
No reason not to. The team still had people that I knew from last season, very familiar with the system and the coaching.
And before you arrived, the Eagles was off to one of their worst starts in franchise history. Do you feel like you were the missing link?
Of course not. I don't ever feel that way. But I feel that I could be the person to activate some of the things that might have been missing in other people. So making everybody around me comfortable as well to that, because there's a transition for not only me, but for all those guys as well. So that's something I've been focusing on.
Bounce to Gordon. And again, his quickness in the move too much for Johnson.
All right. I mean to interrupt you guys, but why couldn't I get an interview, Slim?
I got you next time.
Good to see you. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Nice, man.
What is it like having this guy back?
I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. Good to have a champion back, a glue guy, energy guy, something that we needed and we were missing. So glad to have you back. I don't know if I told you, but happy to have you back, my guy.
You know, it's always understood, bro. All love.
All right, y'all finish. Do all the little sweet talking and things like that. Y'all enjoy.
All right, boy.
You on next?
You brought a different energy to this team, and you guys are 3-1 since you've returned and rolling. What's been the difference?
I just think that we've been locked in, and our vibe as a whole is very good. Everybody is always ready to work and come in and have good attitudes, and everybody's really easy to be around. So it makes your work environment easy, and like your work environment for sports, whether it's sports or business, is very important.
And you got the Cup final runner-up Manchester Giants coming into town. What's going to be the key to getting this win and keeping this momentum going?
So I know Manchester is a good team. So our defense is really something that we need to improve on and have been improving on. And the spurts that we have show our capabilities.
Grateful to be able to see you in the flesh. Let's just make sure we're the last team holding that trophy at the end of the year.
That's all I want, man. Yes, sir.
Firstly, inevitable that when we send Drew Lasker to do a piece on the Eagles, that his old mate Fletcher's going to gate crash. Some broadcast time there. Good to see Fletcher in there. In terms of Justin Gordon, first things first, Drew, how important is his familiarity with the setup here in Newcastle?
Yeah, off-the-court comfort translates to on-court success. Knowing where the grocery store is, knowing where the bank is, all of those things allows you to be more comfortable, less worried, to have success on the court.
He talked in that piece about his presence enabling others to deliver. How do you think his return has enabled this Eagles side to develop?
Well, his versatility. We look at the playmaking for the Newcastle Eagles, and you only have Ramon Fletcher. Justin Gordon can make plays off the ball. The shooting splits of Corey Johnson, Wes Person, and Fletcher have been up since he's been at it.
And in terms of improving on the defensive side of the ball, which is something that Justin mentioned in that piece, what does he bring to the mix in that respect here?
He can guard multiple positions. You know, he's so versatile as a defender. He's strong, he's fast, covers a lot of ground. And that, we talk about them problems guarding the paint. Well, he can actually stop people penetrating in the first place, which is a big addition for them.
Let's talk Fletch, because if the Leicester Riders, as we saw in the league table a little bit earlier on, are the prototype of consistency as a team in the BBL, is Fletch the playing equivalent, always bringing Kieran a high level year in, year out?
Very much so, but the thing that's really impressed me this season is he's taken time to get to understand these players, to get the best out of them. It's taken a little bit of time, but he's starting to find them and find them in rhythm and getting them the ball. That's why he's got 10 assists. It's great to see.
Somebody that has benefited absolutely from that is Wes Person, who has been in brilliant form for the Eagles after a slowish start, racking up 20 points in 6 of his last 7 starts. How integral has he been to this mini revival, Drew?
Well, huge. I call him the quiet assassin because he's soft-spoken off the court. But as of late, like you just mentioned, his game has been speaking very loud. The Newcastle Eagles are putting him in positions to be successful.
Louis Sayers is a sharp shooter on paper, but this season drew less than 30% from downtown. So if he can turn that around as they head to the playoffs, that could be fundamental to their success.
Well, I'm not worried about those numbers. He will. All you got to do is rewind the tape to last year's playoff run. He was very crucial, hitting timely shots, and proved that he can play in the big moments in a Newcastle Eagles jersey.
Yeah, clutch player, and there are plenty of them in this Eagles side. There are plenty of them in this Manchester Giants setup as well. We've taken a closer look at Newcastle after the break. We'll take a closer look at the Giants, and perhaps we should be a little bit concerned about the returning Martavius McKnight and his sentiments towards one or two of his teammates.
My superpower would be to probably forget all of my bad memories.
It would be to be invisible on my command. Because there's a couple of teammates that I would like to, kind of slap up a little bit.
Welcome back to Newcastle Eagles Giants, our live game this evening. Players go through their paces, some of them relaxed, some not so much. All of them strictly business though. And we're going to key in next on the Giants, who are trying to break a terrible run of form. Just 2 wins in their last 10 games in all competitive matches. They won 16 out of 22, Kieran, before that. So why the fall off the cliff? Why the Jekyll and Hyde act?
You know what? I'm going to say, when they lost McKnight, all rhythm changed offensively, you know, and that was their strength. They were outscoring teams. I always felt their defense was lacking, but they found a way to outscore. As soon as they lost McKnight at the start, they really struggled.
Martavius McKnight back after returning home for personal reasons mid-season. So how significant is the timing of this, based on what Kieran said, Drew, given the fact the Giants are not locks for the playoffs, and certainly if they make it, are going to want to push on and have a deep run?
Well, it's absolutely critical. He's exactly what they need. Like Kieran mentioned, they don't have a bucket getter. He is just that.
They're missing Team GB skipper Dan Clark this evening. He hasn't played in the last 2. What do they miss without him in the lineup, Kieran?
They miss, you know, everyone always talks about his scoring. You know, Dan can score the ball, he rebounds the ball really well, but he makes players better as well. You know, he sets good screens, he's a smart player. You know, makes, you know, the big steal because his positioning is good. So I think they miss a lot of, you know, IQ.
We're seeing Tyreek Armstrong on the roster there. He's really wowed us this season with his energy and his drive. And along with Martavius McKnight, could be forming amongst the most dynamic backcourt duos in the BBL. Let's find out a little bit more about this American tag team. We caught up with them ahead of tonight's game.
My name is Tyreek Armstrong.
Martavius McKnight.
And I play point guard.
Shooting guard.
Here's McKnight at the elbow, probably the most difficult shot of them all.
It's tough. Maybe walk them down by NLE chop.
It'll probably have to be some NBA young boys. It's really a lot of different people. I can't even tell you. Like, I really have a playlist I listen to. Can you sing a little bit of it?
It's a little raspy, but I can't.
I say crossed over. Why? Because when you get crossed over, it's there and then it's gone. But when you get dunked on, it's probably there for about 8 more plays, people talking about it.
Armstrong looking to attack quickly. Beautiful move.
Dunked on. Because being dunked on shows that effort. Like, I tried to block it, you know, I almost had it. But you get crossed, it's just embarrassing.
My superpower would be to probably forget all of my bad memories.
It would be to be invisible on my command. Because there's a couple of teammates that I would like to, you know, kind of slap up a little bit. Without Will. We got Will, Kingsley, Dirty Dan. Yeah, Dirty Dan. Ooh, no, I'm kidding, but definitely be invisible.
It'd probably be Megan Good, Halle Berry, Allen Iverson.
Janae Aiko. Cool. Let's go Meg Thee Stallion. And let's go Rihanna. That's all I need. Nobody else. And I'm a cook for them, too. I'm the cook. Those 3 because I know they want me. So.
Go to Cancun one day. Something be on my bucket list.
You know, I've never been to a concert. I would like to go to a concert.
Who do you want to see?
Maybe Janae Aiko. Is the guy I see when I look in the mirror.
Definitely be my mama and my grandmother. Really just the ones who make me believe. Sometimes when I ain't see things coming, they tell me have faith and just stay patient.
The GOAT in my life would definitely be my mom. She's the GOAT.
I think it's fair to say Martavius McKnight isn't short on confidence, is it?
Not at all, and that's what Manchester needed at this moment, confidence.
Incidentally, crossed or dunked on?
Well, cross, because he still has to make the shot, because if you get dunked on, it's disgusting, right?
Just hijack that off you, Kieran. Tyreek Armstrong. Now, you mentioned there's been chat about who's the most exciting player in the BBL. In our WhatsApp group, it's been all the rage, Kieran. This guy got my vote. He's been electrifying since he's been in the league. Kieran, I know I've got an ally in you on this one. How will the Eagles look to guard him tonight?
He is definitely up there. He's such an exciting player. 40 points he dropped against the Eagles last time, we have to remember. So they're going to have to change up defensively. I think they're going to have to try and bait him to shoot more three-point shots instead of attacking downhill. He's too fast, really crafty around the basket. They're going to have to make him shoot the jump shot.
Well, speaking of shooting from downtown, Will Saunders, someone very dangerous from that area, shooting 43%, which is comfortably in the BBL's top 10, Drew.
Yeah, I'm so proud of this guy. This is a former teammate of mine, and to see him get his career back on track, playing a big role for the Manchester Giants is huge.
Josh Steele has been shooting the ball so well this season, hasn't he, Kieran?
Yeah, Josh, another player who's shown that he's improved. And I said he's got a little bag now. He's been going in his bag, creates his own shot, but at the same time he's been out with a concussion, so it's good to have him back on the court for the Giants tonight.
What does he bring defensively?
Well, he's one of those players that can stay attached. Talk about being on a shooter, he's got length, he's quite strong. He brings an extra dimension, like I said. When you play against a shooting team, he stays connected and really disrupts the offense.
All right, a little bit earlier on, Drew caught up with both of tonight's head coaches to see how they see tonight's game playing out.
Coach, 3-1 in your last 4 games. What do you attribute your recent form?
It's difficult to say recent form. The last one kind of hurt. 3-1 sounds pretty good, but I think we set ourselves up for 4-0. So I got to say our competitiveness in our fights, really, because if we're disappointed in 3-1, that shows that we've really got a real fighting spirit and pride for what we're trying to achieve.
A date with the Cup final runner-up. What's your thoughts on the Giants this season?
I think they've been pretty similar to a lot of teams. Had some ups, had some downs. There's maybe 8 teams who are really struggling for any kind of consistency, but have also showed flashes. Obviously, you've got Leicester. They're super consistent, but there's a pile of teams behind which have showed sort of both sides of the coin this year, and they're one of them.
The Giants are deep with the #1 bench. Who are you keying in on tonight?
I think obviously Dan Clark, you look at, we don't think he's going to play tonight, so that's a big thing for them. So how Francois Lewis steps up into that role, and maybe David Olf, who we haven't seen much of this year, I think it'll be key how we deal with them and how we can potentially exploit them at the other end as well. And then of course Tariq Armstrong, just like a lightning bolt, just downhill, trying to be aggressive all the time. I think that's huge for any team who plays Manchester, is how you defend him.
Josh Steele returns to the lineup after suffering a concussion. But what can you tell us on the status of GB International Dan Clark?
Yeah, still out today. GB International, we got hurt with GB, which is frustrating, especially as they didn't play a game. But close to returning, but not quite ready yet. So we're just kind of going day by day with Dan. Hopefully, obviously, he's a big part of our team. We miss him, but we've got other guys, ready to step up, and we'll look to them today.
Martavius McKnight returns after a short break in the States. What value does he add to this team?
Yeah, I think he adds a lot, like character-wise, as I talked about when he left. I think he adds a lot to our team. But then I think, just his creativity on the ball gives us another scorer, gives us another player to take perhaps a bit of pressure off Tariq at the point. And then defensively, I think he adds a lot to us as well. His ability to guard the ball, he's good at that. So, yeah, we're trying to integrate him again, even though he was with us before. Obviously, he took a break, so he has to get his rhythm back. And it changes the dynamic of our team as well. So I think we saw that in Saturday, in our game last weekend, that we were trying to find our way. Sunday, a bit better. So hopefully we can, another week of practice, we'll be better again.
You square off with the rising Newcastle team. Thoughts on the Eagles so far?
They've always been a talented team, like the course of a BBL season goes up and down, right? They had their struggles early. They've made some personnel changes, really improved their roster, I think. So difficult team to match up with. They're quick, they're athletic. You always knew they were going to come good at some stage in the year. It was just getting guys on the floor for them. So, tough game today. As you said, kind of team on the rise, improved in recent weeks. So we got our work cut out.
We talked about the success that this Eagles franchise is used to, and that's very true of Coach McLeod as well. In his young coaching career, he's already landed a number of different trophies. Is this the first time in his coaching career that he's had to deal with adversity?
Well, I guess that's a hard one to answer. If if you look at last season, for example, we thought they were out. You know, everyone was rooting against them, and they found a way to get that run in the playoffs. So adversity is something he has faced before, and he responded really, really well, as last year showed.
I know you were concentrating and fixated on your answer, and at me, you probably didn't see the big smile on Drew Lasker's face as you were reminding him of that symbol. But this is what this Eagles side can do, isn't it, Drew? Even if there's erratic form, haphazard form, it's a clutch team that can bring it out when it matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters in this game. It's about who's standing tall at the end of the season. And that's why I mentioned at the top that these fans still have hope because there's something to play for.
Let's look at some of the numbers then, starting with the team comparison. And you're drawn, Kieran, to points in the paint in particular.
Yeah, I think both teams have been really poor, defending the paint, but they're both really good at scoring in the paint. So that's a really, really good battle I want to watch tonight.
And in terms of other keys, you feel it's key that both teams protect the rock because they're both adept at turning steals into easy points.
And that's something against these two teams. You know, they like to score the ball. Those easy points are really active defensively as well, quick hands, a lot of steals, and they turn them into easy points. If you can limit that, you've got a chance tonight.
In terms of team leaders, a number of the key protagonists we've already looked at tonight, unsurprisingly representing that. And you think that the returning faces are going to be most important tonight, Drew?
Well, both of these teams' winning percentages is higher with Gordon and McKnight in the lineup. So I'm going to be keyed into them, although they won't be cross-matched tonight. But which one has the biggest impact for their team?
I am excited to see them both in action. And this one is about to get underway. As we've established, a crucial game for both sides in terms of the battle for the playoffs and securing as high a seed as possible. Tip-off in Newcastle is coming next.
Crowd counting down the seconds. Fletcher, top of the key, knocks it down. Oh, Anderson all on his own with a one-handed throwdown.
The
Welcome back to Friday Night Basketball here on Sky Sports. A big game as far as the playoff picture is concerned, and it's almost ready to get underway. So let's head on over for the first time this evening to Ant Rose, joined by Drew Lasker, and of course, Dan Rowledge.
Thank you very much, Nat. Yes, indeed, it is a big game. These two teams at the end of the night could be level on record, and the winner of this game takes the head-to-head. That's how important it is. And let's have a look at the starting five for the Newcastle Eagles. Since the return of Justin Gordon, they've started winning games, but also Person has really upped his numbers in recent weeks as well.
He has. I think he's got the hot hand. He's been big for them. Number of 20-plus point games, but Justin Gordon, he's the difference. 3-1 since his arrival.
And if we take a look at the Manchester Giants lineup for today's game, McKnight returning to the team straight into the starting lineup on his first couple of games back, but also Lewis into the game, starting for Dan Clark.
Yeah, well, Lewis has some big shoes to fill there in Dan Clark's 12 points and 8 rebounds. He's going to have to shoot the ball well, but McKnight, they're going to have to thrust him back in the situation here. We've seen some massive games from him on his part one journey of his Manchester Giants journey.
It's only the third start of the league campaign for Lewis. He and Otterson actually both started coming off the bench in the early stages of the season. And the two teams are out there and ready to go. They played out an overtime game on this court earlier this year. Tyreek Armstrong had 40. And it is the Manchester Giants and their point guard Armstrong who will come forward and give us the first offense of the game. Here's McKnight. Armstrong looking to get to the ring, kicks it out. Otterson for three, all strength.
What a great start. And that's Tyreek Armstrong, the point guard. You see that hard penetration there. Didn't elect to shoot that difficult shot himself, but he kicks it out to Gino Artisan, who's ready in the corner.
Defoe drops it in for two.
Darius Defoe, how many times have we seen that in the starting lineup now? And I think he just gives that experience and that stability early.
Here's McKnight spinning out to Lewis for three. Back iron. Johnson at the foul line. Tough shot, but the long rebound comes up to Person, who breaks through the contact for the basket.
That's such an intelligent move. He's got the offensive rebound, which is a little fortunate. It came right into his vicinity. But what he does is he has that change of speed there, and it's that sort of push through rugby stroke American football. Just be strong, go through the defense, strong finish.
Yeah, he cradled that ball like a running back there to break through the defensive line and laid it in for two.
Well, this Six Nations going on at the moment, people would argue it's that rugby move.
Well, I'll let Nat pick that up with you later. Person converts a three-point play. Here's McKnight. As Newcastle a little full-court pressure. Drop back into the zone, I think. Leaves Otterson open at the top of the key. Gordon going to the top floor for the rebound.
Well, the zone design did its job there. Again, 3 offenses from the Giants. 3 have been jump shots.
Here's Gordon at the top of the key. Another long rebound out to Person. Again, he goes straight to the basket. Almost throws it away. Johnson gets it back. A little fortunate here, the Eagles. Person shot off the mark, and finally the Giants get their hands on it.
Messy offense there from the Newcastle Eagles. Almost a couple turnovers.
Well, I mentioned the 40 points that he had here earlier in the season. It was virtually all layups and runners like that.
That would be the thing not to do on your scouting report. Do not let Tyreek Armstrong go middle, left, or an uncontested layup.
Here's Fletcher for 3. Another long rebound that Newcastle get their hands on. Person to the basket with the quick first step.
Wow, what a start from Wesley Patterson Jr. Just so aggressive there. He's taking it right at the defense. Another good finish.
Artisan drops it in to Lewis, who hits the deck, but scores the points. Johnson in transition knocks down the three.
Wow, that's an easy shot for Corey Johnson. Look how easy and effortless he steps into that shot. Defense has to get off and run him off that three-point line.
Well, you could see he was looking at the path, then realized there was no defenders anywhere near him. Stepped into it. Knocked away out of bounds.
Oh, good energy, though, from the Eagles on defense, making things difficult for the Giants there on that possession. Hands in the passing lane. 8 seconds left on the shot clock.
Eagles leading by 3 here. McKnight into Lewis, and he scores.
Oh, barely 4 points for Lewis, and that's a guy that you'd want his confidence high. He averages 6.5 points a game, so he's already meeting his averages.
Gordon athletically to the hole, gets his own rebound, and McKnight trying to claim the travel on that, but it's a legitimate shot attempt. He is allowed rebound, and that is a legitimate shot attempt.
He's so athletic. There's few people that can have the ability to get off the floor that high and that quick to retrieve the ball.
Used to be a travel in the old days. Here's Johnson wide open for 3, and he's knocked down his second.
Corey Johnson, triple number 2, and it's going to be a long old night for the Giants defense if they continue to leave him open.
Artisan driving to the hole, finishing off the glass.
Oh, that's a tough move there. Little pump fake there on the three-point line and got all the way to the rim. Nice left hand to finish.
Here's Gordon knocking down the 3.
Wow. The shots everywhere. Both teams like to score the ball, but looking aggressive.
Poked away, and the foul is called.
Like that Tyreek Armstrong again. He's driving into the danger zones there, the heart of that Newcastle Eagles defense. We've already seen him score a layup and get his teammate an open 3, and he continues to stay aggressive and make things happen.
Well, Drew Lasker, a good start for the Newcastle Eagles here. 4 of 5 from behind the arc. They've had some open looks, but they've knocked them down.
Yeah, that's what they do. Offensively, they're going to put up a lot of points, but it's on the defensive end that I'll be glued in tonight. You can see the game plan is clear. Let Lewis, let Artisan beat you. They have a combined 5 total shots, but those shots needs to be 3s because those guys shoot 28% from behind the arc.
Gordon. You're a step in, little hang time for Justin Gordon.
And that's exactly what he does. And that was the missing link. You see there, he hangs in the air and lets it go late. That's a play that not too many guys on this roster can make. And that's why Justin Gordon has been a huge addition to this Newcastle Eagles team.
McKnight to the fall away. Tough shot over Fletcher.
That is a tough shot, and that's what this Giants team have missed. They've missed individuals that can step up in vulnerable points of games, and Martavius McKnight is a guy who can create for himself and score the ball.
Fletcher working with Defoe on the pick and roll. He almost jammed it in.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is year 18 right there. Darius Defoe scouring over the top, dropping the ball in the net. What an ultimate professional he is.
Here's Lewis. Good help from Johnson. Knocks it away. Look at Defoe outrunning the floor. The big man to the hole.
What a play. Fantastic. Textbook from Darius Defoe as well. If you're the big player, keep the ball high. Great finish.
Well, he almost jammed one in, and then he's burst down the floor for the finish off the glass. I mean, it's a great find, as you would expect from Fletcher. But Defoe still had some work to do. There might have got a veteran step in that.
We call that a European step, right? He goes and maneuvers himself around the defense. But like I mentioned, this guy is still playing at such a high level. And this summer, he invested in himself, hired himself a personal trainer. And you can see why he's playing at such a high level in year 18, starting for the Newcastle Eagles and climbing up that points ladder where he currently sits at 9th all time.
Well, I can see Kieran Achara on the far side signaling for a travel there. If he'd been out leading the break and that was called a travel, he'd be going nuts.
Well, that's why we call it home court cooking, right? You get a little love from the rest when you're at home.
And you get a bit of extra credit, right? When you play for as long in the league as Darius Defoe has, you get a little bit of leeway and leniency for the officials.
I'll look that up in the rule book and see if I can find
unspoken rule, that one, Dan. Unspoken rule.
Two teams making their way back out onto court. The Eagles stay with the 5 that went into the timeout. Changes for the Giants, though. Steele is in, Ulf is in. So a smaller lineup for the Manchester Giants here. Knocked loose by Gordon, but the Giants still have it. Out to Steele and deflected away. There's 5 on the shot clock.
I think the Giants might be in trouble here. They look very rattled. The energy and the momentum is with the Eagles at the moment. You can see on the defensive end how uncoordinated the offense was on the Giants. Giants have to respond here.
Steele hadn't made it back into court before Anderson gave him the ball back.
And Steele is coming back from a concussion. On that play there, he looked a little bit hazy to me. He didn't look his normal aggressive self. So, you know, sometimes it takes a little while for that concussion to kind of pass over.
I don't think the Giants have time to recover as well. They could be down a substantial amount here at the end of the first quarter, and they're forever chasing this game.
Here's Defoe at the top of the key. 8 points off 4 shots for Darius Defoe. Here's Ulf spinning and in off the glass.
Wow, that's a much-needed basket. And David Ulf is someone who had his breakout season last year. Really struggled to, find himself a role or identity so far after joining the team late in January.
Here's Johnson. One thing Ulf does really well, crash the boards. Armstrong drives in, gets all the way to the basket and finishes.
That's such a tough move, and he's a left-handed player, so that finish there with his right hand, his weaker hand, looked very, very solid.
Speaking of lefties who can finish, here's Fletcher.
And Fletch comes back on the other end and say, I'll one-up you, young fella.
Steele. Oh, putting it on the floor. Kicks out. McKnight for 3. Strings it.
And that's just what the doctor ordered. McKnight in game 3 on his return back from the States. As you can see, he looks a little bit more settled in than he did the 2 previous games. A great, much-needed addition for the Manchester Giants.
And there he is at the defensive end with the block.
That's a big block, too, because Carson Jr. has had his way in the key so far this evening, and McKnight there coming across. Great block, perfectly timed, and I like the intent and the attitude there that no easy baskets on my shift.
Saunders into the game. Obviously a dangerous scorer off the bench for the Manchester Giants. Probably the most consistent scorer off the bench. Person finds Peel underneath. Gets his own rebound. Second attempt is good.
The offensive rebound starting to rack up now for the Eagles. Giants are really struggling to retrieve that ball after the initial stop, and Brandon Peel's energy there just outworks them.
Here's Saunders, and that's his shot coming off the screen, but there's good pressure, and that is Ulf's game right there, offensive rebounds and putbacks.
It is, and his energy is absolutely unmatched. Great offensive rebounder.
Zip pass cross court, but Sayers had his foot on the line.
And it's great to see Louis Sayers back out there after missing 6 to 8 weeks with a foot injury. And you can tell in his 5th game back, his shooting percentages are going up every single game. So he's starting to get back to his normal self.
I think you hit the nail on the head with him as well, Drew. You look at his stats, 6 points a game, but it's the big shots he's willing to step up and take that are priceless.
The timely shots.
Now here he is in transition. But a good challenge from Steele. Still 2 minutes to go. It's 24-28. No slowing down in this game. Nice little drop pass to Ulf, who converts.
That's a good 1-2 combo there from your point guard and your big. And what David Ulf will have now with Dan Clark out of the equation, he'll have an opportunity to play more minutes and perhaps settle into this team.
He's pretty good in that high pick and roll as well, Ulf. And Armstrong is a great point guard to work with from that perspective. Here he is again, getting in to the rim, kicked out to Steele for three. Batted loose, Johnson has it, Fletcher is out in front. Fletcher will lay it in on the left-hand side, couldn't be caught by Steele.
Johnson's done really well there. He's retrieved the defensive rebound, but it was a quick outlet pass there to a running Ramon Fletcher.
McKnight. Less than 5 to go here on the shot clock. Saunders for three, back iron. Ulf again with the offensive rebound. Saunders drives in, kicks, Anderson in the corner. That's good.
And that was all created by Will Saunders, who I mentioned at the top. He's healthy now as he make that corner pass to Jamel Anderson, who's added that part of his game over the last few years, making that pocket corner three ball.
Last 20 seconds of the high-scoring first quarter. Peel drive. Oh! Anderson with a huge block. Fletcher gets it away and beats the shot clock buzzer. Wow. Here's a quick one from Saunders on the buzzer. Doesn't go for three. Well, incredible play at the end of the first quarter there by Ramon Fletcher to knock down that shot. It's been all offense here in Newcastle. It's been high octane by both teams. It's 34-29 at the end of the first quarter. We'll be back with second quarter action right after this break. Welcome back to Newcastle, where the Eagles lead by 5. 60 plus scored in the first quarter. Gordon with the spin and the jam.
Wow. Both of these teams like to score the ball down, but it's 36-29, and we've only played just over 10 minutes.
Here's Saunders. Takes the shot himself. Ball got a bit static there. Peel from the long elbow for two.
And how many teams in the British Basketball League would like to bring Brandon Peel off the bench? So, which has been a huge addition with Justin Gordon, which has bolstered the bench from 18 points to 25 points a game, and that has a lot to do with Brandon Peel's play.
Hudson loses control of the ball. And substitution for the Giants with McKnight and Ortizan returning to the game. You said a little earlier, Ant, that this could get away from the Giants. Down 9 here, a minute into the second quarter. They haven't found a way of stopping Newcastle at all. They've got to do something at this end of the floor.
Well, when Martavius McKnight left the game after a basket-saving block and a big shot, you know, they've really struggled on offense since then.
It's Fletcher who certainly hasn't.
And Eagles will feed off this as well. Remember, Eagles are a team that have still got a lot to prove. You know, they lost a game they shouldn't have lost to a week ago. So, you know, it's a team that they're a wounded animal too. So they're not going to let up whatsoever against this Giants team.
Artisan with an important three-pointer, but again, Fletcher, you expect that to go in. Peel on the rebound, can't convert. Steele's pass is deflected out of bounds.
And you guys mentioned of how this game could get away from the Giants. Is what's one thing we've talked about as we covered this team for a couple of games on Sky Sports is leaving Armstrong on the bench for too long. So do they learn from their lesson? Because the games we covered, the games get away from them. So I don't look for him to sit there too long.
Steele along the baseline, trying to use the rim to protect himself. Williams slipped through his hands. Hudson in transition has Ulf with him, and Ulf drops it in. Bodies all over the place.
Really like David Ulf's energy. Incredible positive impact he's had on the game. That's 8 points for him, 4 rebounds.
4 on 4 for 4 shooting. Having a great start to tonight's game.
Home fans counting down the shot clock. Last few seconds. Person trying to find some way to get a shot off. I think it hit the rim. Did it? No, it didn't. The shot clock violation.
Well, Eagles have done a good job out there of pursuing that basketball and crashing the boards. That was their 6th offensive rebound. All players going after it, and again, it's good energy from them on the both sides of the floor. And you want to say as well, it's been a good defensive intensity from the Eagles, but they have conceded a lot of points. They are leaking points, but it just happens that they've scored more down the other end and 40 points already in this game.
Well, that's what you have to do if you're a Manchester Giant. Just stay in the game, because you know the Eagles will allow you back in on the defensive side. So they just got to pick up a few stops.
Hudson is trapped, gets the ball away. Steele late in the shot clock to the spin, and he's fouled. There haven't been too many fouls in the game at all.
No, that's a good job from Josh Steele. He's someone that, you know, he's coming back off that concussion. He's someone that, you know, he's got to find his flow again.
Let's make some noise.
Steele at the free throw line. Knocks down the first.
Also, louder and louder. Make some noise.
Two for Josh Steele, and that will see him get a little breather with Jordan Whelan checking into the game. Person. Here's Sayers. Offensive foul, wave off the score. Illegal screen, the call.
Giants might have got away with one there because a lock and loaded Lewis Sayers was ready to knock down that three.
It's on Defoe. Just watch the big number 13 chasing it. Well, I think it's fair to say over his 18 years, he's got away with less than that.
I would like to agree.
Here's Armstrong. Williams out in front. Williams, well, he made that a bit more difficult. And Sayers can't tip it in. McKnight behind the back to Lewis, steps into the three off the mark.
And that's what you said they wanted. They want Lewis and they want Artisan to shoot those three balls because their percentages aren't exactly firing so far this year.
Well, Williams with the bounces, like who was it the other year in the NBA? What was that shot? I've forgotten now.
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard. There we go. Here's Person from miles out. It hits Whelan and out of bounds. Did it hit the ring? If it hit the ring, it's Eagles ball. The referee says it did hit the ring.
And offensively, the Eagles have had a couple of possessions where it just hasn't looked tidy. As right on cue, Ramon Fletcher enters back in the game to get this offense back rolling because they got an opportunity to kind of push this game away, but they've allowed Manchester to hang around.
Manchester were wobbling a few minutes ago, but they have, as you say, kept in this. And another foul called, this one on McKnight. That is only the second foul on the Giants in the game. The Eagles have 3. There have been 5 fouls in almost 15 minutes, which I think tells you about the level of defense that's being played.
I was going to say, you're not fouling too much if you're not playing locked into defense.
Who's Artisan? A little short. Gordon with the rebound.
Just a bad offense. The ball stayed in that corner. Only 2 players touched it, and then there's a contested jump shot from Artisan.
Gordon, nice finish at the rim.
That's a play right there. Your point guard threading the needle to a cut-in to Gordon.
A little early in the offense for that shot from McKnight. Here's Johnson, and again, that's one that has to go in transition if you're going to take that shot. McKnight knocked away by Gordon. Late call, but foul is called on Gordon.
Giants have to score there. That was 4 on 2. There shouldn't ever be an instance where the ball gets caught like that. You just pass the ball, make the ball do the work. You've got the numbers, a significant advantage. Giants have to execute on that play.
Well, timeout call midway through the second quarter. Newcastle Eagles leading 42-36. The offense has slowed down. I don't think the defense has picked up that much, but it's only 8-7 in this quarter.
Well, for me, it's shot selection. And if you look at both of these teams who are hovering around 500, and then you look back at those last 3 minutes, that goes to show exactly where they are. You got guys coming down with no pass, taking ill-advised shots, and you got to be a little bit more patient when you're not scoring. Get into your sets, let the ball move, see if you can get something easy. Because both teams have shown tonight that they'll give you a layup if you just be a little patient on that side.
Well, that last First foul on Gordon, by the way, was his second. So in a game with almost no fouls, he's pretty much in foul trouble there. He's got half of Newcastle's fouls in this ball game with 2.
And he's had a really good game offensively. 9 points for him. He's 4 for 5 from the field, and that energy he brings as well, it's unmatched. So having him miss a proportion of this half, let's see how that affects this Eagles offense.
Giants ball from the side. 18 they have on the shot clock. Whelan, pass is deflected. Straight to Peel. Fletcher to Defoe. Defoe trying to kick it out to Person. Shoot it, Drew. Straight into the hands of Drew Lasker.
Drew was ready.
He
Look
was
at that.
ready.
He's not long out of the game. I still think he's got a little juice left.
I think he could have made that shot there.
Well, I haven't lost my hand-eye coordination, fellas.
Didn't get the shot away, though. That's a disappointment. Nice work. Oh, knocked away by McKnight. Foul is called.
You see that the difference between the Eagles and the Giants offense right now. Ramon Fletcher's pulling the strings, and what he's doing is he's got players moving around him. It's a simple backdoor cut there from Brandon Peel, but instead of a contested 15-foot jump shot, it's something going at the rim. He gets fouled. He's got 2 shots at the free throw line.
Well, that just goes to show you the importance of point guard play with Fletcher and Armstrong, to be exact. When both of those guys have the ball in their hands, both teams get good looks. When it's not in their hands, what do you see? Ill-advised jump shots.
Peel makes the front end of 2 free throws. And the Eagles' lead is back to 8. Lewis driving hard, Defoe bats it away. Giants ball on the end, 9 on the shot clock.
Well, I like the face-up, though, and aggressiveness there from Francois Lewis. Again, it's not just settling for that jump shot. He's trying to make something happen going to the rim.
Whelan stumbling down the lane and traveling with it.
You can see his intention. You know Jordan Whelan's trying to make it happen. He's very good at going to the rim, but equally good footwork there and good aggressiveness there from Person Jr. Just enough to put him off, but not too much to be called for the foul.
Here's Fletcher. And he runs into Lewis, and there's about a foot difference between them in size. And the foul is called.
Ramon Fletcher's had an excellent second quarter. Currently sitting on 8 points, 6 assists. But as you can tell, he's orchestrated this offense so much more clinically in this second quarter, separating the 2 teams by 8 points so far.
Here's Peel. Turnaround. It's a good closeout by Anderson. Space for Whelan for 3. Off the mark.
And that was a good look by the Giants. Coming off that pick and roll there. McKnight making the right play. Jordan Whelan just has to knock it down.
And Person knocked down a difficult 3.
Someone who's rolling. Wes Person Jr. Loves that spot. Hand in the face, doesn't matter. 10 points personal for him.
Armstrong trying to reply, but misses the 3. Lewis knocks the ball away from Fletcher. Lewis now out in front, and he will jam it in. Gone down hard.
Person's contesting there, but didn't do enough to foul. A good finish there from Francois Lewis in the open floor.
But I like that play by Persons, not giving up on the play and trying his best to contest. It sends a message for the rest of the team.
Person misses the shot. Armstrong driving in, tough finish. And we're going to get another timeout call by the Newcastle Eagles with 2:21 to go. Go back to your point. McKnight said it in the pre-game interview. He'd rather get dunked on because at least he's challenging the shot. I really like that. But there's nothing wrong with being dunked on. You're trying to block somebody's shot.
Yeah, I agree with you, but at least you got a little bit more space if they cross you over because you have to rely on that guy to make the jump shot. Because if he doesn't, it doesn't matter. You got to finish off the play. I've been dunked on before, and it takes about 2 or 3 minutes to get your confidence back.
But you're playing defense as opposed to the guy who fell over not playing defense. Though. That's the thing. Well, come on, bro. Come on.
I don't know if I'd like to play this day and age because if I got dunked on, I'm seeing it on highlights for the next 6 to 7 days. And I don't know. It's a difficult type of to be able to absorb that these days because you're going to see it on some highlight reel.
Something or other. In the old days, they never used to send faxes out with whoever dunked on.
Well, how about just playing great defense and neither happens?
Neither happening. There we go. Good answer. Well, Newcastle Eagles leading this one by 7 here, but you get the feeling Coach McLeod sees this as a big 2:21 because his team briefly had a double-figure lead, and it's gone down to 7. He wanted to stop that momentum before Manchester could really run with it.
Well, the way that this game has been seesawing, it's very likely that this 7-point lead could get pushed to 11 or 12 or 3 or 4. So like we always talk about every week, Dan, these last 2 minutes, closing out quarters is always critical.
Here's Person. Stolen, not quite by Anderson. Defoe has it. Shot clock getting low. Person driving hard, can't finish, comes out to Defoe, hits Fletcher, back iron, good box out from Anderson. Can he secure the ball? Yes, he can. And a foul is going to be called on Person.
Wow, that was an intense play there. Good, again, good aggressiveness from Newcastle Eagles on the offensive glass, but this time Jamal Anderson's experience and technical ability to box out there just overcomes. But Giants really struggling to get any easy defensive rebound just because of the persistence of the Eagles right now.
3 is up from Saunders and off the mark. As Pat said, there's 8 offensive rebounds for Newcastle, 9 defensive rebounds for Manchester. So half the misses have ended up in second chance opportunities for the Eagles. Johnson using his body well to score off the glass.
That's a really smart play from Corey Johnson. I think he could have forced that.
Alley-oop to Anderson from Armstrong.
I saw that coming, and Jamal Anderson's ability to run the floor is with the best of them in this league, but Tariq Armstrong spots that and delivers the pass right on the money.
Minute to play here in the first half. Johnson deep 3. Well, if he was on the 3-point line, that would have gone in, but it fell as short as he was from back from the line.
It's an odd one too because the play before he makes the right decision. He doesn't elect to shoot that first shot. Instead, he makes a great move all the way to the basket and finishes the play. On that occasion, it wasn't the right decision, and the Eagles again let another offense go.
Kick ball by Defoe. Shot clock's at 16, so it won't be reset. Saunders, tough one. Oh my goodness, what a shot from Will Saunders.
That was as tough as they come, contested, but that high arcing shot, so difficult to block, and Will Saunders is a 53% three-point shooter.
Hook round on Ramon Fletcher. Pull Armstrong across the head.
I love this matchup between Ramon Fletcher and Armstrong. Very similar body types, both lefties, play very similar ways. Fletcher, of course, the more established, experienced player, but Tariq Armstrong's that young up-and-coming player looking to challenge 44.
Well, the last few ticks here, they can take this just about down to the buzzer, given the small gap between shot and game. McKnight knocks it down, doesn't leave them too much time. Fletcher's not going to get one away. He does after the buzzer. Thomas went in, but, well, Drew said it a couple of minutes ago. Last 2 minutes, it could go out to 12-13. It could come back down to 3. It's come back down to 2.
It is too, and I don't know, I feel like it points to that time that the Giants were really struggling to score the ball. And I'm looking at the score, damn, they have 47 points. No one struggled to score the ball. It's remarkable how these two clubs were able to put points on the board in such quick concession. But no, I think Drew hit the nail on the head there. The Eagles had a perfect opportunity here to stamp their mark on this game. They weren't able to close it out. The Giants' persistence and their ability to keep scoring the basketball has kept them in the game.
Well, it has been a game where scoring has been certainly the winner in the battle over the offense, although they haven't scored quite as many in the second quarter as they did in the first. It did slow down a little bit in that second quarter, but you get the feeling that it's going to be the team that gets the defensive run going that is going to win this ball game here in Newcastle. We're at the half, and it is 49 points to 47 in favor of the Newcastle Eagles. We will have reaction at halftime after this.
Welcome back to Newcastle, and what a breathless first half we've had here. Darius Defoe rolling back the years in a blistering first quarter, which saw 63 points in total. Things cooled in the second, and we end up going into the half with a very even battle. The Eagles edging it, but just 2 points the deficit as Manchester clawed their way back into it. The Giants shooting just shy of 60% in total. Eagles 50%. They called from 3 in the second because they were on fire early doors there, weren't they, Kieran, from downtown?
They were shooting the ball extremely well in that first quarter. From an Eagles perspective, a lot of confidence in that first quarter. Kind of cooled off a little bit in the second quarter.
Total rebounds, 22 for the Eagles. 8 of those coming offensively. That's been the key. They've outgunned Manchester in that respect.
Yeah, we always talk about those effort plays, and that was, getting those offensive rebounds, getting those second chance opportunities. It was big for the Eagles to keep them in this game.
Second chance points, you'll see 24-5. The Eagles dominating their points in the paint as well, critical.
And that was something that we looked at the start. I thought whoever can win the battle of the points in the paint. We know that defensively they both really struggle at times at defending the paint. So I think Eagles did a really good job of attacking, but at the same time, the one player we didn't want to go attacking downhill was at Armstrong, and he still found a way to score inside.
So emphasising those quite key statistical advantages for the Eagles, are you surprised that this is a 2-point game?
And that's what I'm going to say is the scary thing for the Eagles. The 8 offensive rebounds, the hustle plays, they're winning that battle in the paint, but they're only up 2 points. And that's a scary thing. You know at the half-time there's going to be talks. We're winning this first half, but at the same time we really have to learn to walk up in the second half if we want to win this game.
Well, there are no shortage of veterans in the Eagles locker room, and 2 of them have been in exemplary form in the first half here in Newcastle. Darius Defoe, as I say, rolling back the years, but talk us through the breakdown of this play.
Yeah, I love this play because it's exactly what I talked about. Turnovers for easy scores. Great strip there by Corey Johnson. Nice pass by Fletcher and easy finish for Darius Defoe. But the thing is, this is how Darius Defoe started off the game. This is something he has done for years. That mid-range jump shot, that relationship with him and Fletcher. And that's it. Fletcher makes the game easier for Darius. He just finds a way. And then at the same time, Fletcher finding big scores, finding big ways to score the ball as well, which is also helping the team. So he's getting those assists, but he's leaking out here on the break, finishing with that left hand.
Yeah, 8 points for Fletcher in the first half. He's one of 5 players on the Newcastle side that's got 8 points or more, 6 assists as well. Talk us through how he's controlling the game in that respect, dishing it around.
I was saying he looks comfortable. He looks comfortable. He's dancing with the ball, creating spaces. He's that little mid-range jump shot, getting to his spot. He finds ways to get to his spot. He's comfortable. He knows where his game is right now. That mid-range jump shot, getting the ball downhill on that pick and roll, finding his teammates. He's doing what a point guard should be doing.
You said to me, I was watching the first half, he looks like he's enjoying his ball a lot more, and that's absolutely apparent. Justin Gordon was a player that we, of course, keyed in on heavily at the top. What have you made of his first half?
Yeah, he does what he does, and knocking down the 3-point shot, to me that's not his strength, but he's finding a way to shoot the ball with confidence. There's a little Euro step there. He's a strong player too, looking for position. Look how he's finishing with power. He's a great addition for this Eagles team. He's literally changed the whole dynamic of this Eagles offense.
Picking up points, boards, assists, steals. I mean, he was everywhere for them in the first half, as was Martavius McKnight, because as we heard from Coach Gardner in his interview with Drew, we were concentrating on his offensive prowess, and we'll definitely see some of that right now, but defensively stepped up as well.
Yeah, he was not giving up on the play. Yeah, that's big from a guard perspective. Chasing, he gets beat on the drive, gets back and recovers to make that block shot. But this is where McKnight is most dangerous in that isolation play. He can create his own shot. I remember at the start of the season I said, McKnight, what you expect to see from him, it was getting buckets. He just loves to score that basketball.
Well, he certainly had some big plays this evening so far. I wonder if any of them will make our plays of the week next weekend. Remember, we're live from Glasgow for the WBBL and BBL trophy final on Sunday. That is all to come. But first, let's take a look at our favourite plays from the last 7 days.
Driving in, dumps it off to Jack Domney. Throws it down on the shot clock buzzer.
Nice pass inside to Delpech. Throws it down on Nelson Henry with the facial.
Ooh. Took my eye off it as Heinrich booms that one.
Oh, Martin through the hole.
That's a good move by Martin. He looks so much comfortable right now.
Away at the races again. What a slam by Larry Austin Jr. Crandall stolen away by Evans. Marcus there blocked by Gino Crandall.
What an incredible recovery.
Tough call once again, big man. Which way are you going?
This was by far the most competitive week.
Wow, really?
It was high level. And
so who's on the short list?
Gino Crandall's play there was a great one. I'm forgetting all the plays right now, but
I love the Crandall, but the NFL lover in me love that swat away quarterback stuff.
I'm going to have to make an apology right now though, because this play was on Mr. Fraser Malcolm. I'm sure his students at Gripe High School will be watching this right now and saying with disgust, different type of disgust, that Larry Austin Jr. dunk was absolutely disgusting. It was disgusting. I'm sorry, Fraser. I'm sorry.
Oh, you've really done it there. You've got to make up for that, Fraser. You've got to step up and try and get on the other side of it, and he'll have your back. Brilliant stuff. More plays of the week next weekend as we're live from Glasgow for the BBL Trophy Final. But we're all about the championship right now, and what a game we have on our hands. Keenly poised at the half. Are we going to see more explosive offense in the second half here at the Virtue Motors Arena? The Eagles edging it, but it's all to play for. Second half coming next. Good game here in Newcastle. The Eagles edging it right now, but it is all to play for and playoff spots to fight for. Second half about to get underway, so let's get back to Drew, Anne and Dan.
Thank you very much, Nat. Overtime when these two teams met here earlier in the year. Are we on pace for that, do you think?
Well, a high-scoring overtime, I think, is on the cards. I think, yeah, if I was a betting man, I think you would have a good chance of coming through with that call.
Well, we will see. It gets the feel, this game, Drew, that the first team to put a defensive run together is really going to open up a lead, because they're scoring so freely, these two teams, that if one of them can hold the other one for 3 or 4 minutes, they could have 12, 13 points without reply.
Well, you say that, and you look at the scores, and Newcastle scored 15 in the second, Manchester scored 18 in the second, and I think that's more of a reflection of the team's offense as opposed to the teams playing defense. So I agree with you. Which teams actually really get stops and convert those to fast break points, which Kieran talked about at halftime, I think that team will come up on top tonight.
Well, it's the Manchester Giants who get us underway here in the third quarter, looking to tie the game up on the opening offense of the second half. Anderson, shot clock getting low here, takes it, misses it. Ottersen gets it away in time, and we're level at 49.
Well, it was a good movement initially from the Giants. The ball moved all the way around, and Anderson was forced into a difficult shot, and sometimes you just get a little bit of fortune there, and Ottersen was ready and waiting for that rebound and put back.
Johnson puts it on the floor. The little high Orca has too much on it. Lewis for 3. Comes all the way out to Ottersen. Lewis a little closer to the hole, still can't convert.
That's a play Francois Lewis has to convert. He misses the initial 3-point shot, okay, but you cut into the rim right there. Good pass, got to finish.
Like that.
That's the difference. That's the difference between a higher level big in this league and well, no disrespect, but a big who's playing at average or on par with the common figures in the league.
Well, on top of that as well, just not telling him not to shoot, but you got to understand what is the right shot when you're shooting 28% from the three-point line, and the threes that he's taking tonight, you don't see him hesitating at all. So just move the ball to find a better shot.
He's 24% in league only as well, so it's going down is the answer to that. Here is McKnight, who certainly can shoot the ball well.
And that's exactly what McKnight brings to this Manchester Giants team. He can calm this team down, give them timely buckets, and he's only going to get better as he find his feet and find his rhythm.
Ottersen for 3, all string.
Wow, that's a really nice play. Again, McKnight outletting the basketball. Francois Lewis making the correct decision on that occasion. Ottersen stepping into that 3.
But speaking of the type of shot, three-point shooters' percentages are higher when the ball touches the paint and come out as opposed to when the ball is being swung around.
Fletcher drives in. There's a foul underneath on Defoe. I'm not quite sure. I didn't quite see that one.
There was just bodies flying everywhere. I thought the foul was actually on the Giants, because all I saw was Darius Defoe get slung across the court there, but Giants regained possession here, up by 3. They're throwing the first punch this half.
McKnight at the elbow wants a foul, doesn't get one. Gordon for 3 knocks it down.
Wow, that's so comfortable, isn't it? He steps into that 3-point shot, knocks it down. That's 12 points for him. And remember, they were missing Gordon a little for that in that first half because of foul trouble. Now he can be a little bit more relaxed there and play a bit more free ball, especially on the offensive end.
Fletcher trying to get the pass away, but Ottersen deflects it, kept alive by Gordon. Back to Johnson for 2.
Wow. Just the systems there from the Eagles. Uncharacteristic turnover there from Ramon Fletcher, but Justin Gordon again with that energy.
Here's McKnight to the fall away. Rebound by Anderson. Anderson fakes the handoff, gets to the rim and lays it in.
Such a smart move there. Everyone in the building thought he was trying to get the ball back to McKnight. But a quick change of direction there, speed and all the way to the rim.
Great veteran move there by Jamel Anderson.
Well, that's out of the reach of Person. Lewis inside to McKnight, who is wide open, and a timeout is called by Coach McLeod.
And this is the issue that the Newcastle Eagles have had as of late. If you reflect back to the Plymouth game, they were flying on all cylinders in the first half. Third and fourth quarter, they give up 29 points. At home, it's tough to beat teams when you can't get stops. A layup with Armstrong getting to the rim that easily is just unacceptable.
This is what you wouldn't expect from the home team, is to come out at half-time after being up, by 2 points at the break. You would expect the home team to want to inject their dominance coming into the second half, but it's been the opposite. It's been the Giants who've been able to, defensively as well. I think the Giants have been the better of the worst. Is that fair to say? In that, Newcastle Eagles at the moment, it's 13-7 in this quarter, and it's the Eagles that are struggling to score the ball.
Well, 13 points. You said they gave up 29 in the third and the fourth last week. They're on pace for 29 again here. They have to find some way of slowing you down. And here's a clue. Just don't give Armstrong an open layup underneath the basket would be the first step in the right direction.
Exactly, and it just starts by being physical. The previous play, I like what Persons did there with McKnight, forcing him into a tough shot. This whole team has to take on that mindset of, we're not going to give you anything easy.
Here's Gordon in the paint, off the mark. Radar a little off there. Armstrong, 2-0. Anderson. Gordon fighting for the rebound. Pass is a little bit too high.
Again, that's an uncharacteristic passer from Ramon Fletcher. He's so reliable at that. He'll get it on the money in the chest, but a little bit of a wayward pass there. That gives the Eagles a turnover number 8 in this game.
4 of them for Fletcher. Otterson for 3, off the mark. And it's off again, going after the offensive rebound and winning his team possession.
It's great that he's introduced back into this game. He had a phenomenal first half, 8 points, 4 rebounds, excellent energy, perfect from the field. So let's see if David Olf can carry on with those very impressive numbers in the second half.
And like you mentioned, and on his return, he struggled after sitting out half of the year. And this looks like the David Olf of last year. Seemed to be getting his mojo back, which is great news for the Manchester Giants.
Here he is, getting to the basket. He remains perfect as he gets into double figures.
That's what he's really good at with Armstrong. Armstrong, great pass there. And David Olf's got the unorthodox game, but who cares? Because it's effective. 5 for 5 from the field.
Fletcher out to Gordon for 3. They needed that, Newcastle.
He did that so many times last year when we were down and out. He makes timely shots. And this is a guy that works for it, works on that jump shot every day after practice, translating here tonight.
Armstrong replies with 3 of his own.
That's huge because they went under the screen. They followed the scout there. Tariq Armstrong says, thank you very much. I'll take that 3.
Here's Fletcher. Gets it to Defoe. Defoe trying to draw the foul and doing exactly that.
That's a veteran move there. Very smart play from Darius Defoe. David Olf there just gets caught. It's actually David Elf that gets
he puts his hand down.
The hit on the head.
Reaches down. All he has to do is just stay wide. Hands, force Darius into a tough shot. But, you know, it's tough to resist when you see that ball. That hand just wants to have a go.
Going back to Armstrong. Yeah. Going back,
so true.
Going back to Armstrong, that's his 9th made 3 of the league season. Just 9 3-pointers he's made in. This is his 18th game.
But speaking of that, obviously his shooting percentage is below 30%. I believe he's shooting 24, 25%.
24, yeah.
But why did he make that shot and wasn't hesitant? Because the play before when he got the layup, and layups does a great deal for your confidence. It opens that basket up.
Defoe off the mark. Here is Armstrong. Going to take another 3 and going to hit another 3 back to back for Tyreek Armstrong.
Goodness me, how dangerous is Tyreek Armstrong if he's hitting 3s?
Gordon driving to the hole takes the foul.
And this is a place that he's very comfortable at. Remember, he scored 40 here about a month ago as Justin Gordon takes it strong to the basket and draws the foul on Jamel Anderson.
That's a really intelligent play from Jamel Anderson there, because the foul's called, the whistle's gone, and Jamel Anderson does that little block at the end there, because that could have very easily been an and 1. You know, Justin Gordon's got that elevation off his, you know, when he jumps to the basket to be able to drop that ball in.
So what could have been 3 points now can only be 1. And when you're up 8, as you say, that is a heady play from Anderson.
He can't buy experience, that's for sure.
That's what he does. He's done it year after year, especially on the defensive end. He was so valuable to some of our successful teams that we had in the past.
Steele. Foul ball. Fair to say those sat behind us weren't in agreement with that.
They were not.
Defoe sits down. Steele ready to inbound for the Manchester Giants, who lead by 7 here. Having trailed by double figures in the first half. Armstrong again getting all the way to the basket.
And Armstrong has done that 3 or 4 times tonight where he does, we call it a push cross, getting to his strong hand where he's able to get to the rim and lay it in.
Here's Gordon again. Oh, blocked. Out to Fletcher for 3 off the mark.
Great box out by Off there.
Off gives it back to Steele. It's almost stolen away, but Giants still have it. Armstrong again gives it to Off. And it pinballs out of bounds for a Manchester possession with 4.5 on the shot clock.
And David Off is just all over the floor. You see his energy.
Oh, good effort there from Tyreek Armstrong to stop that
Well,
pass.
that's too easy. Off the end line. A layup for Steele.
Again, that's something that, you know, defense has to be locked in.
Giants into a double-figure advantage now. Peel knocks it down.
A nice looking shot from Brandon Peel, and as you said, Drew, he's that guy that can give you the offense off the bench. 8 points for him so far this evening.
Saunders out to Anderson. Rebound Ulf again on the offensive glass, his 3rd. There he is with number 4. Wanted a foul, didn't get it. Here's Peel in transition and slapped away. It came off Peel's leg. Great defensive play from Armstrong.
That is an excellent play. It's a basket-saving play. Tyreek Armstrong has no chance of blocking that. Brandon Peel is 6'7". Tyreek Armstrong is 5'10" on a good day. So what he does is he times it. That slap down on the ball, ricochets off the knee. His team regain possession.
And talking about fundamentals, you see Brandon swing the ball to his left hip before he goes up, which opened the door for Tyreek Armstrong.
Fletcher with the pressure. He thought he had a steal, and his reaction has got him a technical.
it's just frustration there from the veteran, and I think he's got a fair shout there. He's trying to change the fortune of his teams around. How do you do that? You lead by example. And I think it's a tough goal.
Well, he's going to sit down. It's his second and his third foul. So Saunders will get a uncontested free throw, and then it will revert back to where it was, which will be a sideline possession for the Giants.
And you mentioned that's a frustration play by Ramon Fletcher. I've seen that many times by Fletch and Darius Defoe. It's to send a message to the team that if we don't get going, this game could get away from us. Let's go, fellas.
Well, it is 10 at the moment. They need something fairly soon. There's only 12 minutes left in this one. Here's Steele. And Peel denies him. The shot clock buzzer goes after. Oh, that's a trip.
Oh, great control there from Corey Johnson. Yeah. Falling down, keeps the dribble alive.
Did Hudson touch that? No, he didn't. It's out of bounds, and it's a Manchester ball.
And that's what Hudson brings to this team. He stays connected to persons, which totally changed the angle of the pass as it goes flying out of bounds. And Giants ball.
Saunders. Out to Anderson. 5 on the shot clock. Bullet pass to Ulf, who's able to pull it in and lay it in. 6 of 6, David Ulf for 12.
What an addition David Ulf has been into this game. Lovely left-hand finish as well.
He's been cleaning the glass as well. That's his 8th rebound. And that's a foul on Gordon. 1 or 2 on the Giants side, looking for an unsportsmanlike foul. Maybe close enough to the ball for it to be a regular foul in transition. It's on the line, though, under the modern rule, but it is over the limit for the quarter, so it'll be 2 free throws for Hudson.
The Eagles are in trouble here. They're in trouble, and I think Coach McLeod sees that. He's put number 44, Ramon Fletcher, back in the game after his technical foul, and they need to figure out a way here. There's a minute and 2 seconds left, and of course a fourth quarter, but what you don't want to be going into this fourth quarter is an insurmountable lead here, because again, the Giants are a team that they need this win just as badly as the Eagles.
Well, they've taken Gordon out because he's on 3. Obviously, he took Fletcher out on 3, but put him back in. But this is the point the game's being won here. You can't, leave your best players on the bench and save them for later when you're down 20. Here's Person inside trying to cut into that lead. Foul is called. Peel is able to finish it. Will it count? Yes, it will. And they'll go to the line for the bonus.
That's huge play. Huge play, much needed. And I think Wes Harrison Jr. started that, initiated it. Crescenus going to the rim. He has to get going here heading into this fourth quarter. And Brandon Peel, just ultimate professional. Persistence pays off.
And Peel's had a solid night with 10 and 5 rebounds, and he's been playing so much better as of late because he's gotten back to himself. He's shooting a lot less from the three-point line, getting to the mid-range, cleaning up the glass, and this is the version that the Newcastle Eagles need.
But again, I think Brandon Peel, as improved as he's been, they need more from him. They need David Oak numbers, 12 points, 8 rebounds. That's what they, that's the level Brandon Peel we've seen him play at this league.
I agree.
Armstrong glancing up at the clock. 10 on the shot clock. Now he's looking to attack. Kicks out. Steele in the corner. Big shot doesn't go. Anderson, though, with the offensive rebound. And they can take another 14 out of this third quarter. Armstrong is fouled. That hand-checking foul will send him to the line as they're over the limit.
Ooh, that's a...
Yeah, that's a tough foul there. Send Armstrong to the line for 2 as David Oak exit this game. And He's been amazing tonight, and if the Manchester Giants get this version of David Ulf, along with the addition of a healthy Dan Clark with McKnight, this is a team that could get back to where they were during the Cup stage, where they won the North Group and looked like they were contenders for the league.
Sometimes you learn more about your team when a big piece is missing, and this could be that pivotal game that they found a big piece here.
Well, Manchester just squeezing the life out of Newcastle here. It's going to be some more free throws, and more importantly, that is foul number 4 on Ramon Fletcher.
That's a huge foul for the Newcastle Eagles, because when you're sitting on 4 fouls, it totally changes your mentality, it changes your aggressiveness, and I don't see much there, but as a coach, I would say if you rebound the ball off that free throw,
it doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Well, that is the other side. The other side of the coin that I just talked about is if you put him back out there, he might get his 4th foul, and then you're in big trouble for the 4th quarter. It's not an easy line to walk as a coach.
The game's all about margins, right, and little plays. Let's just say the incident here with Hudson. He steals the ball, he lays it up, he fires his team up, they go on a little run, okay? Instead, what happens is he gets a technical foul, he gets frustrated, he has to leave the game. And it's like that, the sliding doors, like it can completely change a game on its head. That one incident, that one play, that one reaction can change the whole mentality.
Last possession of the third, a third that Manchester have dominated. Person driving hard to the hole, he'll get the final score, and that will do it. But the Newcastle Eagles have given up 32 points in this third quarter. It is the Manchester Giants who have a double-figure lead. Just 10 minutes left to play in this ball game. Is there a way back for Newcastle, or will Manchester get a much-needed win on the board? We will have the 4th quarter after this break. Welcome back to Newcastle, where the Eagles have some work to do here at the Virtue Motors Arena if they are to avoid a 5th home defeat in the league this season, as Clingorol but Person gets them off and running.
And that's a guy that can get them going. I thought he had a really good start to this game. Went a little bit quiet there in that third period, but I think Wesley Person Jr. is that one of those key figures there that's going to help propel Eagles into this game.
McKnight to Lewis. Nice step to the basket, and he lays it in.
That's one thing that's not going to help the Eagles. If they cannot get stopped, this game is already over.
Hudson commits the foul.
And if the Giants can buy 2 or 3 minutes while Armstrong rests there and keep this thing afloat, that would be success, as Ulf picks up a quick foul there.
Here's Johnson. Back to Defoe. Off the mark. Well, I suppose the other question for Newcastle is how long does 44 stay on the bench? Lewis will go to the line for 2.
Well, Francois Lewis was just the first to react there. It's a good deflection initially. You feel like turnover possibly coming. Justin Gordon again is the culprit there. His energy just almost getting the turnover, but Francois Lewis first to react. He's going to have an opportunity to shoot 2 free throws.
And for me, that's the role for Lewis is, you know, do all the dirty work, cut hard to the basket, rebound, make all those little plays. Because sometimes, as we saw earlier tonight, he settles for that three-pointer. And at this level, it's all about carving out a niche for yourself and finding a role. And if you can do that, you can have yourself a long career.
Well, Ramon Fletcher had been stood up at the advertising board chatting to his coach for the last minute or two, and he's just been asked to sit down. Only the coach is allowed to stand up on the sideline, and the referee asking him to sit down. The home fans not overly pleased, but it is in the rules. Here's Johnson, leaves it short. McKnight, back iron, Sayers with the rebound. Knocked loose by Saunders, it'll stay with the Eagles.
Will Saunders almost did enough there. He was looking for the deflection off the foot of the Eagles, but close call. The Eagles will get another shot here.
Well, Fletcher is back in the game. He'll have to be careful on 4, but they need him out there. What he brings to this team is Gordon just doesn't have enough to get that over the front of the ring. Saunders catch and shoot for 3. Fletcher gets all the way. He can't convert. Defoe cleans it up.
Good follow there by Darius Defoe, but you see Ramon Fletcher's will there to get all the way to the rim. Good penetration from him, and Darius Defoe, trusted teammate, was there to clean up the mess.
And if the Newcastle Eagles are going to rally, it's going to be because of those 2 guys, number 13 and 44, Ramon Fletcher.
And if they're not, it might be because of number 14 knocking down 3s. His 4th in 5 attempts, Gino Artisan.
We've seen that connection work really well. Lewis, Artisan. That time Lewis again making the right decision, kicking it to the corner. But Gino Artisan had knocked down another 3. 16 points for him.
Saunders fouling Defoe. Armstrong returns to the game. That's the first personal foul on Will Saunders.
Well, you called it, Drew. I mean, the best thing that could have happened to this Giants in this last 2.5 minutes here. Not only have they survived, but are continued to score without Tariq Armstrong, they've actually prospered and increased this lead.
Well, he doesn't look overly pleased, does he, Coach McLeod? Somebody who might be a little happier. Krian Ruff-Topless, his Surrey Scorchers lead by 7 in the 4th quarter. Could that long run without a win be about to end for the Surrey Scorchers? There's one member of our team who might not be too pleased to see it. on the far side.
Twists and turns of the BBL this season. You just can't call it from week to week. From 2 to 10 to 2 to 9 is just exciting. Going to be an exciting finish in this league.
Defoe foul.
I struggle to figure out who's going to win a basketball game when it's going on. I was pretty confident the Eagles were going to have a comeback game here. Second quarter, things look a little bit shaky, and then you see the third quarter, you think, okay, this Giants are in full control. Still, a lot of time to play in this basketball game, but unpredictability of this league is everywhere this year.
Well, here come Manchester. Saunders, I think Defoe was too far underneath to take a charge there. He took a whack to the ground. The one predictable, Leicester are up 13.
orders restored. At least we can get some consistency there.
Well, that's the only team in the league that plays consistent for 40 minutes.
Fletcher driving to the basket. Once a foul, doesn't get one. Oh my goodness, what a pass! That is from Armstrong. That is an incredible assist to Lewis for 2.
He has been fantastic, hasn't he? Tyreek Armstrong, and wow, look at that.
That's an incredible angle as well down the lane.
Francois Lewis is, he's answered the call, isn't he? Dan Clark not in the equation. He's been given that starting spot. And he's 12 points, good energy from him at spots as well. He hasn't been scared to take the shot. And he's delivered.
Well, 5 of 7 from 2-point range. The 3-point shots we've said were perhaps not his forte. And when he's in close range, he's very efficient. And a few rebounds to boot.
And the 3 assists, I think, have been huge from Francois Lewis because they've resulted in artisan threes. Now, remember, 2 of them distinctly big parts of the game. Artisan repays his teammate, knocking down a 3-point shot.
Well, Armstrong had a 40-piece last time he was here. Hugely efficient because it was all at the basket. He is 8 for 9 for 21 points. 21 points off 9 shots. He's also got 8 assists for an efficiency rating of 32.
And am I seeing that correctly? Is that 2 blocks as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, I had to do a double take to see if I was seeing things clearly. This guy has come to play tonight in only 26 minutes as well. So
yeah.
Making his name known here in Virtue Motors Arena.
That will count. Yes, it will. There was a little pause between the referees as they looked at each other, but that will be a 3-point play opportunity. Yeah, he picked the ball up ages before. It's an easy and one.
Yeah, what Giants do not want to do is give this Eagles team any type of belief in this arena, because we have seen amazing things happen in the British Basketball League. And again, the Newcastle Eagles are a team that they want to win on this home court. And last week they were on the other end of it. They were up relatively double-digit figures, and it was the Plymouth Patriots that made a late surge and was able to secure the win.
Well, I think they've signaled the wrong number to the table. I think 15 was signaled, but 15 isn't on the court. So it was 14 that should have been shown to the table. It is, you can see 15 is flashing because they got signaled 15. The scoreboard operator put it on, but it's hard to commit a foul when you're not on court. And the referees just corrected it to number 14, Gino Artisan.
Number 15, Francois Lewis, is probably on the bench raising his hand. What did I do?
Here is Artisan. Armstrong lobbing it into Ol. Late in the shot clock. Artisan again. Oh, he's hit another one from behind the arc. His 5th of the game.
Wow, 5 for 6 from the 3-point line. 19 points personal.
Gordon with a few head fakes and in off the glass.
And it's a lot of big performances here as you look at the stat sheet for the Manchester Giants. And This is a team that looks real bouncy, looks confident. And that man, Tyreek Armstrong, has a lot to do with it.
Otterson again. Oh! 6 of 7!
Wow. He is putting on a show. And we've seen him do it already this year. He had a big three-point shooting night against Surrey, if you remember.
Well, that's been called a jump ball. McKnight had both hands on the ball. So that will go back to Manchester on the possession arrow.
Well, we talked about all the scenarios pre-game, about what could happen tonight. I don't think any of us saw this coming.
Nope.
With the team missing the GB captain, Dan Clark.
Well, I've given you the scores from the other 3 games. It's 54 apiece in Bristol. Bristol against Sheffield. And that one is midway, well, stolen away here, midway through the 4th. Johnson. Rebound to Defoe. Back to Fletcher. Ooh, that would have been a candidate for Kieran's disgusting play had Gordon managed to get his hands on that.
Such a high flyer, unbelievable. Great work here from Wes Person Jr. Hasn't given up on the game, creates a turnover, and Ramon Fletcher doesn't have to knock it down, but here's the flying. Goodness me. David Will just did enough not to be in a poster there.
Well, Manchester Giants calling a timeout here. 96-77 they lead. And looking pretty comfortable with 4.5 minutes to go. I'll just run through those other scores again for you. Bristol now lead by 3, 5:46 to go, 57-54. Surrey lead by 10 against Glasgow with 6 minutes to go, and Leicester are up 15. That was an 8 o'clock tip-off, so they're only early in the second half down at the Morningside Arena.
Well, if the Eagles are going to make a push, it has to happen now, as they currently sit down 19 points.
Has to be a really big push too.
It needs a lot of pushing.
I think that they have to look at themselves here now collectively as a team, and firstly ask themselves how they've got themselves into this position.
I'll tell you how. You've conceded 96 points in less than 36 minutes. That's too many points.
Coming into this game, surely the Eagles have identified that their deficiencies have been on the defensive end. So, I've been on a professional team. You practice all week to rectify your weaknesses. So why have they came today and not been able to at least come close to rectifying that deficiency?
I hope you don't want me to answer that as McKnight knocks down another 3.
Well, I will. Those principles are all established in the preseason as McKnight tallies up for a 3 there. And it's hard to all of a sudden mid-season say we're going to be a defensive team. So at this point, the Eagles are what they are on that side of the ball. They just have to hope they can outscore opponents.
But you can be a better team, Drew. Look at the Plymouth Patriots. That is a completely different team than what it was at preseason. They've made a mental, physical and spiritual commitment to changing their fortunes in the league. Why can't a team of, I get that Eagles have had some injuries and they've had some roster changes, but why can't a collection of players make that same commitment?
Well, I disagree with you because the Plymouth City Patriots were playing like that all season long.
Yeah.
They just had some extra added talent built in. So culture was already established at the beginning of the year with that team, and now you're seeing it pay off.
Yeah, to be fair, the Patriots in the early part of the season just didn't have enough players because they weren't allowed to sign overseas players. They had some pretty good British talent, but they didn't quite have enough, and they were playing well at the defensive end and trying to grind it out as much as they could. And then when they got the offensive firepower of Hassan and of Williams, and now, of course, Simons as well, they've been able to turn that corner. Whereas I still go back to 99 points in 37 minutes. You can't win a game like that.
99 points at home.
At home.
is just unacceptable.
And they'll drop, as Fletcher almost steals it away, they'll drop to 500 here this season, 5-5 here in this venue, and it's Fletcher's out in front. It's a great home court advantage. You've got a big crowd in, they're loud, the acoustics of this building are always really good. It feels like they're on top of you, and they just haven't been able to win games.
But the other side of that is when an opponent walks in the building. They get hyped. They see a sold-out crowd. They see the beautiful arena, and they want to show the best version of themselves.
Person to the basket, lays it in. We'll go to the line for a bonus. Third foul on McKnight. Well, it's 15 in 2:40. You've seen it happen, just not very often. Anderson trying to get it in. They've got to stop here, Newcastle. They basically can't allow any more points, I think. They've got to score the last 14. Here's Johnson trying to get two of them and doing so.
It's a tough move there. He was pested all the way up the court. Corey Johnson found a way to get all the way to the basket. Good finish.
Giants are going to try to take some time out of the game here. 2 to play. It's over to Anderson. Well, this will be a dagger if it goes, and it does for Anderson.
Well, and again, you cannot leave a player of his quality that much time, that much space.
Look at the shooting percentage, 58 to 47. Again, on the other team shooting 58%, 46 from the three, makes 13 of them. It's tough. It's tough to win a game in those sort of circumstances. Lobbed up the alley-oop, Artisan with the one-handed throwdown. Well, we've seen him from the three-point line all night. Here he is at the rim.
Tariq Armstrong on the money, and Artisan putting the exclamation mark on this game.
And that's 10 assists now for Armstrong. 21 points and 10 assists. And Ulf has had a great game as well. He's got a double-double, 12 and 10. I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about Newcastle because we're in Newcastle. They're the home team. They're the storied franchise, and 5-5 at home is not what you expect. But this Manchester team, who've been a little bit in the doldrums since basically the cup final, really. But this is an important win. Obviously, they beat Surrey last week, coming up here against a team that is potentially going to draw level with them in the standings if they lose this game. Puts a 2-game gap between them, gives them the head-to-head. This is a really good, without their talisman in Dan Clark, this is a really great result for Lloyd Gardner and the Manchester Giants.
Huge result, and they've done it really without Josh Steele to his normal effect. You know, he's been a guy coming back from injury, but what the positive I think that the Giants can take about this, the unit, the group has faced some adversity. They had a really difficult first quarter in this game. Could have got away from them, but they hung in there, they plugged on, and just an all-star performance from Tariq Armstrong. But Gino Artisan, what a performance he's had. 24 points, 7 rebounds.
And the good thing about scoring 104 is, as a coach, everybody feels happy. You know, McKnight's got 12 points, has shot the ball really well since he's come back. Artisan has been incredible from the three-point line. Anderson's given you his usual game. Ulf has been excellent. He's in double figures as well. Lewis is in double figures. You know, up and down the list, they're all there scoring, and everybody loves scoring.
They do, and they've shared the basketball as well very, very well. 33 assists as a team. That's remarkable.
Well, there's a sort of hum around the arena. Normally there's a you think the last time we were here when Fletcher hits the shot on the buzzer well, not quite on the buzzer, but to win the game, and the noise of the building there, and it's a bit just deflated here in the last minute as they start to look for their coats and ready to go out into the night.
Giants are just having fun as well. They look, the last couple minutes, it hasn't been a, a high intense finish to this game. Giants are the ones moving the basketball, throwing alley-oops, sharing the ball, and scoring.
Offensive foul. Well, he could have almost been called for one on the first contact. You can't go back. If you get away with that, you can't go back.
No, and it's against a very good defensive player in Jamal Henderson. He takes the contact not once but twice, as you say, Dan, and you can get away with that first one, but Justin Gordon, I think mostly frustration there. And he's had a good game, 23 points for him, 6 rebounds, good energy.
9 of 15 shooting as well. But, well, it's not that end of the floor. 89 at home is usually enough to win a ball game.
Should be enough to win a ball game.
Should be enough to win a ball game. But potentially 110 if they score here. 110 is sure enough to lose a ball game. That's for certain. Well, they'll just dribble it out, the Newcastle Eagles. A disappointing night. Drew talked earlier about the fact they gave up 29 and 29 in the third and fourth quarter last week at home. 32 and 31 they've given up. 63 points against in the second half.
Just huge numbers, Dan, and I think what rubs salt on the wounds is you're doing it in your own building, and you've got the home crowds here. Again, negatively reacting. This is something they haven't seen. This is unprecedented for them. Newcastle Eagles have that winning mentality for over a decade, and this is uncharted territory for a lot of these fans, especially the long-serving fans, and a very difficult loss for this Eagles team this evening.
Well, a few boos at the end from the Newcastle fans. Very unhappy. It's not something you see very often here, and well, plenty to work on, but not for the Manchester Giants. Tyreek Armstrong, sensational once again. He missed only one shot for 23 points and 11 assists, and the numbers, well, 69% made 2-pointers, incredible. 46 points from 3. Tough to live with a team that's shooting the ball that well.
But when you shoot the ball that well, look at the statistics. They're 35 assists. It says to me this team is sharing the basketball. They're making the extra pass. They're getting good looks. And that's how you shoot those high percentages, when you get good looks.
Well, 9 of 10 shooting for 23 points and 11 assists. What a ball game for Tyreek Armstrong. He is with Drew.
Tyreek, a huge win. You guys take the tiebreaker. But it was the second half where you guys exploded. What was the message at the half?
We just tried to get back to playing how we used to playing, having energy on the court and finishing the game strong.
And for yourself, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 11 assists, and 2 blocks. You seem to will this team to victory tonight. What was your mindset?
Just giving my team the energy that I know I'm capable of, coming out and playing as hard as I can, and just trying to lead by energy.
And finally, it wasn't just you. Artisan, McKnight, and Off seem to have big nights. How important are those guys play if you're going to make a run at the championship?
It's great to play alongside those guys because I know how much they expect from themselves. I know what they're capable of as well. So, I mean, it's just fun playing with them.
A big night, a huge win. Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
What a performance it was from Tyreek Armstrong. 23 points, shooting 90%, 11 assists, 2 blocks, and 4 defensive boards. Kieran, brilliant all-round stuff.
I mean, unbelievable. I'm sorry, Jamal Anderson just was got caught with the mic, trying to take the mic because he was mic'd up for tonight.
Mic'd up, right.
But yeah, it was a leader's performance. He was. We talk about composure. See, when he started hitting the three-point shot, they were going under the screen, and he was hitting the three-point shot with confidence, taking the right shots. That I knew it was over. He's just an exceptional player. He started slow with the Manchester Giants, and he's really came onto his own and shown that he can lead by example.
Well, he really did, didn't he? He lit the fuse in that brilliant third quarter for Manchester, which proved to be fundamental in turning the game around. 32-point third quarter for them. But how pleased will Lloyd Gardner be seeing so many pivotal contributions from his team tonight?
The ball was moving, and I think when the ball is moving, you've got a point guard like Armstrong there, but the ball was moving. They read the ball screen and made the extra pass for the shot. Then everyone got involved. I think when people, on the Manchester Giants team, when they're shooting the ball well, the ball's moving, there's so many threats on that team. So he'll be extremely, extremely happy and pleased tonight.
Well, let's find out if that prediction is correct, because he's courtside now with Drew.
Coach, an excellent road win. How would you sum up this team's performance?
Well, I just heard Kieran in my ear, and to be honest, I think he did it for me. Yeah, really pleased. We talked before the game about transition defense. First quarter, it wasn't that bad for us, but we gave up a lot of rebounds, and they didn't miss a lot. So frustrating, perhaps, to give up 34 in the first quarter. But after that, I thought our defense was really good, and that set the kind of the platform, the foundation for us to play on the offensive end. And as Kieran just said, we did a really good job sharing the ball. Spacing was a lot better than it has been. So super pleasing, yeah.
And so many great performances. But talk about the play of Armstrong, where he scored a 63 points in the last 2 games in this building.
Yeah, he obviously likes it, doesn't he? I said that to him before the game. Obviously, we watched some clips, scouting wise, about the last time there was some clips from last time we came here that we looked at, and there was a lot of him doing things like that. So we talked about it, said to him he needs another big game, and I thought he was confident, he was aggressive, which is a big thing for him, and everybody else just feeds off him.
And finally, 9 games remaining. It's a scrum from 2 to 9. What would be success for this team during this final stretch?
Yes, it's hard to put something on, to be honest. I just want to keep playing like we did today. Effort on the defensive end, playing as a group, playing together, and then sharing it offensively. And then we'll see after that. We've got some tough games, starting with Leicester. We got Leicester and then London next 2 games, so they get really difficult for us. For us, we can just focus game by game, focus on the performance, and then see what happens with the results.
That's a huge win, Coach. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, massive win and 2 very big games coming up, so we'll really see just how serious this team can be in the playoffs there, Kieran. Let's talk about a little bit more about this defensive performance from the Giants, because the Eagles came out of the traps flying, but their offense disappeared in the second half. What were Manchester doing so effectively defensively?
I think what they started to do, I don't think there was much difference from the first quarter, to be fair. I think they were baiting Newcastle to shoot the ball a little bit more. They're trying to protect the paint a little bit more, and Newcastle just flat out missed shots. I think they were 2 of 17 after that first quarter, which is unacceptable in a sense. But I think that from a Lloyd Gardner perspective, they're trying to bind this team basketball, trying to take away the middle drive. And that's key, because they're going to have to be able to protect the paint if they want to make a run in these playoffs.
Well, just joining a couple of those points together, we talked about Tariq Armstrong leading the Giants with 11 assists. Ramon Fletcher had over 50% of the Eagles' 25 assists. And great as he is, that is a hugely significant number, because 11 for Tariq Armstrong was less than a third. So the Giants distributing and creating in so many more different ways. Is that one of the keys here, that the offense for the Eagles just needs more variation? They can't just rely on Fletch.
Well, I think Fletch tends to always complete the play, while from a Giants perspective, they'll sometimes make the extra pass. So there was a lot of times the big was rolling to the basket, catching the ball and then kicking out for 3. That was so essentially it's like a hockey assist for Armstrong. It was the pass that led to the next pass for the completion.
All right, let's look at some of the other big performances from the Manchester Giants. And this guy was very close to being our MVP. Gino Artisan had a brilliant night for Manchester. 24 points, including 6 of 7 from downtown, 5 boards and 7 assists. I mean, Drew Lasgood, I'd say, joined us now from commentary. Drew, he was unlucky not to get the nod as MVP, wasn't he?
Yeah, he played unbelievable tonight. He hit his shots. We talked about it on air. He's shooting 20% from the 3-point line. But if you get open looks like that, soft closeouts, you're a professional. You'll knock those shots down.
Do you think, excellent as the Giants' offensive performance was, that Newcastle made it far too easy for them defensively tonight?
I mean, look up there at the scoreboard, 110 points at home. And then also, you look at the Newcastle Eagles, they got 6 guys in double figures, but they also allowed the Giants to have 6 guys in double figures as well. We've said it all year, the defense is unacceptable, and you're not going to win many games if you can't get stops.
Another big performance tonight for the Giants came from David Ulf. He was shooting 100%, 6 out of 6. But Kieran, it was his work on the boards that was equally effective.
Yeah, we were talking about this before the game as well. You know, Ulf is one of those players who doesn't need to demand the ball. He gets scores from his effort, his hustle plays, those offensive rebounds. He's slipping to the basket, composure, taking his time with the finish. I think it was a great performance, and I know that he can play at this level. It's getting that consistency.
Drew, what do you make of his night?
I mean, that's the David Ulf we saw last year, and like I mentioned, if they get that version of him along with Dan Clark and Artisan playing at a high level and Armstrong, watch out.
Big rebounder last year as well, and that was something that really changed in the second half, because we talked about the lack of offensive boards for Manchester at half-time. He specifically turned that around for them.
Yeah, rebounding is I call it effort plays. That's not a skill or anything, and that's what David Ulf did all night. You see he was all over the court. It wasn't just on the rebounding on the defensive end, but on the offensive side as well, getting those loose balls, the 50-50 balls. You got to have a guy on your team that's willing to do the little things, and for tonight for the Manchester Giants, it was David Ulf.
How surprised were you, given no Dan Clark tonight, with this offensive, an all-round team performance from Manchester?
I mean, we talked about it at comms, and we talked it before the game. We talked about every single scenario. This isn't a scenario that we foresaw. We saw that the Newcastle Eagles can give up points, but we thought ultimately they would outscore them. But to give up 110 points, it's tough to win.
It's a tough defeat to take, and Coach Ian McLeod, Newcastle's head coach, didn't want to talk to us after the game. I'm sure he's got one or two choice words for his team in the locker room. There were some positives for the Eagles to hold on to, including, unsurprisingly, Justin Gordon. It's fair to say, Kieran, he was their standout player tonight.
Standout player. He's no matter what, win, lose or draw, he is always producing, and it must be frustrating for him, because he's come back thinking, they get a good run, get a few wins under their belt, but right now they've been hit back to reality again. They've had a tough loss to the Patriots. Now they followed up with a loss to the Giants. They have to get things on track.
Drew, his defensive contribution can't be particularly faulted tonight.
Yeah, but defense is a collective effort. He can't guard all 5 guys on the court, so although he might do his job, what about the other guys? So, like I mentioned, defense is established in the preseason, and so the Newcastle Eagles, you can't all of a sudden become a defensive team. The only way they're going to get it done is by outscoring teams.
Wesley Person, the other player that we want to key in on for the Eagles, he had a big night too, 19 points, 6 boards, but just 2 assists. Do we need to see more from him in that respect?
Yeah, you could say so. I like his intent tonight. He came out, he played very aggressively, he hit his shots, and he's been playing great of late. But I don't care about anybody's offensive stats. It's about the defense, and it's about what the scoreboard says at the end of the night.
Well, on that note, and you, of course, played here for many years very successfully. There were boos ringing out, as Dan was talking about in comms at the end of this game. How surprised were you to hear that reaction from the Eagles faithful?
Very surprising. In my 8 years as a Newcastle Eagle, I can't think of one time ever hearing boos in this place, so it's alarming.
After confession to me, it was actually me doing the booing.
I thought it was when you and I stood up, but that's where, to get back here, that's when the boos rang out. Well, a difficult night for Newcastle, and we can't even give this cloud a silver lining, because the play of the day, Kieran, there was only going to be one. Well, I could say there only be one choice. We had 3 or 4. You kept changing your mind all the way through, but it was all Giants.
They were all Giants, and this one, it looks great, but actually there was no hustle from the Eagles. They were deflated. No one getting back on defense. Head was down, and it made it for a spectacular play there for the Giants. And I'm going to save that one again for next week. Who knows? I've said too many of the D words today.
You've got to use them carefully, and otherwise they just lose their effect. I appreciate that. Respect that. We might see that next week in our plays of the week. Now, you mentioned just before, Jamal Anderson was mic'd up, and he came over here taking off his kit. Every week we mic up a couple of the players that work it on the court. Jamal Anderson was one of them. Wes Person was the other. Let's hear the perspective from them on this game.
Good pass. Good pass. Good pass. This feels like if I do that, I'll get a foul call.
No, but he got there first.
I always get there first. I'm faster than every single one of these guys.
5 years ago you were.
Don't say that. Wow! 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 That was a freaking nice time, bro.
Other action in the BBL this evening, including the Flyers Sharks in overtime, 71-68. We had that number of points in the first half here, I think, so a very different game altogether. But keenly poised, Kieran, look away because the Rocks have lost again against Surrey, and of course that is critical because at the wrong end of the table, those two scrapping away to try and fight into the playoff picture, and at the moment the Rocks' week is going from bad to worse. They lost, of course, in the BBL Trophy semi-final to the Cheshire Phoenix, but they are getting handled at the moment by the top of the table, Leicester Riders, 70-48. The latest there, the Riders in control. And of course, there is plenty more basketball coming your way right here on Sky Sports.
Anakana with space for another three, strikes it again! Bedford Norton for the triple, hits it and is fouled! Lobs up the alley-oop! Thrown down by Kelly! Carey driving in with the flush!
And both London teams defending their trophies next Sunday. It's a doubleheader, the WBBL and then the BBL Trophy Finals on air on Sky Sports Action from 12:30. So, thoughts on next Sunday? Kieran, let me come to you first with the WBBL final, because this London's Lions side, as we've talked about many times this season, formidable, and this can be another feather in their cap.
They're so great to watch, but they're playing against the Sevenoaks Suns. It is going to be a great, great game.
And in terms of the BBL final, disappointing for Kieran and indeed for the Rocks faithful with the game in Glasgow that they're not going to be present. But the Phoenix, despite tonight's performance, have been in terrific form, and they're going to give London a real test.
They absolutely will. They remember the Leicester Riders lost before the Cup final, so this might be a wake-up call for already surging Cheshire Phoenix. So it's going to be a great game.
We are going to be there, present and correct. That is next Sunday, a double header of basketball action coming your way. British basketball action, no less, as well. So make sure you join us 12:30 in Glasgow. Look forward to seeing you then. Bye for now.